Well, obviously an exciting win for us. So a long time coming. And I was a little bit concerned right as the game was ending. The emotions on the field wasn't quite what I expected, but nonetheless, it was a draining game, to be honest with you. But really excited. We got back to the locker room, and a team of grown men that acted like 9 and 10-year-olds because of that build-up energy and that emotion of finally winning a football game and pulling things out the way you want them to. And I kind of stressed to them, and I said it here last week, the SMU game was not luck. We didn't lose that game. They got lucky. And I told the team the same thing. And it's just like this past week. We didn't get lucky. It wasn't luck that they missed the field goal. I had every belief that if they make that field goal at the end, our offense is going to have 1:20 to go with one timeout. And there's no doubt in my mind they're going to go down and score, whether it's a touchdown or we kick a field goal. So it's not luck. It's when all those little things start to come together and the ball does bounce your way. I mean, there's a lot of situations in that game. The ball doesn't bounce our way, but the final one did. And so excited about it. I know that for us, it was Hayden Moore's best game. He was our offensive player of the game. Did everything we asked him to do about managing the football game. We said offensively, in order for us to be successful, we had to make some plays down the field. And I think that offensively they did that in a large part, obviously, to protection, but also to Hayden, timing and throws and things like that. And defensively, we said we had to dominate the line of scrimmage. And our defensive player of the game was LBJ, Lyndon Johnson, our nose guard. And he was a big part of us having that opportunity to dominate the line of scrimmage, really kind of limit them running the football other than one quarterback scramble early in the game. That really is the reasons why we won that football game. Moving on, it's unique, it's different. I've never had a Friday night football game here. Obviously one after a Saturday, so our schedules are kind of thrown off, your routine's kind of thrown off a little bit. So this is unique for us, but we had no time, kind of got to get back. You like to have those 24 hours to kind of take some deep breaths, celebrate a victory, but we had to kind of get right back at it for this uniqueness and new Friday night game. But excited about a Friday night game in Nippert Stadium. It'll be exciting.
I know you're concentrating on the football game Friday night, but you're going to be honoring a lot of veterans. Does that mean anything for you and the team?
It does. And again, I'm going to talk, and we'll talk as a team about what this is really all about. Everybody's obviously, there's a lot of different things, a lot of focals, but there's no doubt that these teaching moments that give us an opportunity to make sure our guys know what kind of things that we do and what's important, and there's other things that are out there. But it's big to me. Obviously, my father is a Vietnam veteran, and there's a lot of guys that are on our team, a lot of coaches that are on our team that have military members of their family or people who have served. So I want to make sure that we take this opportunity for our guys to understand what this means, what Veterans Day is, what our military appreciation. I know that there's a lot of things probably going on with the national anthem and things, and I just want to make sure our guys understand what it means to me, hopefully what it means to our entire program. But that's something we'll do probably within the confines of these walls here, and then we want to put obviously the best foot forward there for something that's a little bit extra in there, but everybody's got somebody, I'm sure, in their family of some sorts. But we want to do a great job at honoring those guys this week.
Jarrell White made his first start the other day. Could you talk about how he worked himself into that role?
I've been asked that. Jarrell, the reason Jarrell got the start in his first start is really the way he's practiced. And kind of been hitting on him. He's been playing 10, 11, 12 snaps probably most of the games, at least the last 3 or 4 games, playing a lot of special teams. And his ability to kind of take that over and show us that on a Monday, on a Tuesday, on a Wednesday, and seeing the maturity of him moving forward to how he practices, to give us the confidence to give him those opportunities in the game. Now, obviously, Ty Gilbert had been a little bit dinged up, and he played a lot more in the SMU game because of that. But his ability to go out there and practice every single day really gave us the confidence to put him out there and to put him in that starting role.
And what does he do that stands out?
Well, obviously, he is a football player. There's still a lot of things, as most young guys, 95% of the young guys that come in, that we want to teach them how we play, and I mean that of 4 to 6, A to B with relentless effort. Are always things that we're stressing and moving forward with. But there are some uniquenesses of guys that just have a football sense. And the thing I could tell you about Jarrell is, he's a football player. He has a football sense. Some little things that, that just you can't teach. The knack to find the football, the knack of, having a feel for body presence and people around you, your ability to tackle. There's some unique things that obviously we will teach and continue to enhance, but that he possesses. And it took a little bit of time for us to see all those, for him to continue his confidence level that, you would say you could flip on the game in high school football and you could see him. But, you take the step to the next level, we see better than we hear. We're not judging on what you did on film from your high school. And for us to finally see those things throughout the entire week gave us the confidence to continue to put him out there, and they showed.
You've talked for the last 6 weeks about one play or one block that's been the difference between winning and losing. You finally got that this week. I mean, what went through your mind when that finally happened?
There's a million different things. And, there's not one play. We keep saying there's inches, but that's why I say it's not luck. This just doesn't happen out of luck. If they'd have made the field goal, I truly believe that we'd have went down. Hayden Moore, that offense would have let us down, and we'd have found a way to win the football game because all those little things kind of add up. And if we believe in them, it ends up showing. We kind of showed a stat on Sunday when we came back in here, the difference between the last 2 weeks and this week, and I mean of stuff off the field, about the discipline things that we talked about, from having X amount of guys late or tardy to something academically in the last 2 weeks as opposed to this past week. We were down, 75%, from the guys that we rank academically and off of campus or out of the football realm of their effort and their attitude. We went from, 45% of the guys being elite to, 75% of the guys doing everything off the field the right way. Well, guess what? Those kinds of things show up on Saturdays. They might not be big things. It might not be exactly what it is. Now again, well, Coach, you guys had a lot of penalties. The discipline, you're talking you had better. I know, okay, but those little things come back in some way, some fashion. And that's why I say it's not luck. We start to really kind of hone in and believe in those things. Now, there's a lot of things we can do, to make it even better, to make it not as close. But I think those things are finally, we saw that kind of pay off, and hopefully those guys realize that.
What can one win in the situation you're in mean to you going forward?
Well, we'll see. But I think that, I know this, that my wife got me up at 7:30 on Saturday morning and said, let's go for a walk. I walked outside. I said, oh, the leaves have changed color. I mean, what is this out here? There's a sun. I mean, you just see things a little bit different. As much as a leader, you come in here and you go to work and you grind. It doesn't matter what the situation. You're going to push them. You're going to motivate them. But there is something a little bit different. There's a little bit different taste in the food. And I said that to the guys. I said, I hope that you guys realize and you feel, there's a different feel in your belly right now. That there was that euphoria, that payday, that what you've worked so hard for, now you can finally tangibly see it and got to feel it. And it'd been a while. So I think that is something that continues to push you. It makes your Mondays, your Tuesdays, your Wednesdays, have a little bit different light to them, as opposed to, like we've talked about, it being in those football games where you're down 24. Yeah, I know, but they're fighting and they're fighting. I know. But at some point in time, you like to fight with those bright colors in your eyes and that great feel in your belly and, be in those situations. So I think that it can go a long way emotionally. It can go a long way psychologically. And I think it goes a long way at realizing, when you're really stressed, that it's not luck. All those other little things find a way to add up for you.
Jared Doakes had his best game, and obviously a big run near the end of the game. Can you kind of talk about his development, how he's gotten to this point, like he's become your featured running back?
He has. And, I think that's, a credit to him, obviously. I don't know what he was like last year as a redshirt kid, but, you saw it in the offseason. You saw it in the winter workouts. You saw his body and everything kind of develop. I think what we've seen throughout this season is his development as, his demeanor, his body language, all those kinds of things on the field. We haven't had an opportunity as much to feed off of him, okay, like I said, as we did maybe even the Miami of Ohio game, where all of a sudden we start to run the football and you get in those 5 and 6, 4 yards, tough, hard-fought things that he means a lot more even, when he can do those things to our entire group, to the entire team, especially to the offense. But you've seen him have the ability and continues to grow with being able to do more than just run the football. And I think that's where he's got an opportunity to truly be a complete back. He blocks really well. He can catch the ball really well. So he's not limited to just saying he's in the game, he's getting the football. And I think that's where you're seeing the development of him. It's far greater than even the 148 yards that he finally did have.
He's bigger than Mike Boone. Like, could he be kind of the kind of feature back who gets 20, 25 carries a game?
He definitely can. He definitely can. And, you know, and nowadays, as you see, I mean, if you've got a guy that's carrying the ball 30 times a game, you know, I mean, I guess Leonard Fournette or some of those guys did it, and maybe you can, but I tell you, if you can keep it in the, you know, the 22, 23, you know, because of the other guys that you got, you know, whether it's Mike Boone and Mike Warren, and Mike Boone is obviously all over the place and doing some different things. That's what we talk about. I know it's later in the year, but that's what we talk about by, you know, by late in the year, now you're finding that guy who might be the 25, but if he's carrying the ball 25, 28 times in the first 6 games of the year, you know, what are we going to be like at the end of the season? So, you know, I don't think we had those opportunities early in the year. We got down in some games. We couldn't, you know, not just say feature him, but the greatest thing about him is he's continued to work. He's continued to make himself better. And now we get down to that point in time. He definitely can be it, but we still want to be able to say, hey, if we got him in the fourth quarter and he's only had 20 carries or 18 carries so far, that's probably right where we want it.
The way he's running, if he continues to do that, how does that change your offense?
Well, I think it just gives us more confidence in the things. I think that's where you've seen in the past where sometimes the quarterback is, you know, quicker to pull things and throw it out there because of he thinks he's got favorable numbers, or you gain the confidence in the guy to say, hey, like I've been saying, I think I'll take my one-on-one shots on him, or I'll take my one-on-one shots because we might have a little better angle. You know, hey, we got, as you gain more confidence, like throwing the ball down the field. Well, he's got one-on-one coverage. Well, I'm throwing to him because I believe that he's going to win those battles. You know, and I think that, yes, all those things go together. How you call the game, too, for Coach Denbrock and those guys, as well as what the quarterback sees in some of those opportunities where we give him some freedom.
What about Temple? They're coming off a pretty big win over Navy.
And I'll tell you, there's a reason why they've been in the championship game the last 2 years. You definitely see that it's a physical football team. They've got talent. They've got length. On the defensive line side of the things, at the wideout spots, they've definitely got some guys. And obviously, coming off of a big win against Navy and a very dominating one. I know it ended up being a little bit closer score-wise, but it really wasn't that close. So you can see a little bit of that momentum and things. They've switched quarterbacks that I think has given them a little bit of a spark. So I think it's going to be a great measuring stick for us. You know, and you know, having the success and the things that happened for us last week to get a victory, to go out there and to really see, hey, let's take the next step to see where we really are. This is the team that's been in the championship game the last 2 years. You know, talent-wise, this is a team that, you know, is as talented as anybody in the league.
They struggled this year, though.
They have, and sometimes that is a new system, a new coach, and, you know, different things like that. I'm sure it's a different defense where they still have, you know, talented guys. I'm not saying that they are, but you can definitely look at it and see across the board that there's, you know, 6'5", 6'6". They got some guys up front. They got some wideouts that have, you know, some really good skills. They maybe not have had the big years or got down the field. You know, they got a defensive end that doesn't have a block punt this year, but I think he's got 5 in the past. So, you know, it's there. You know, I think maybe we'll see. You know, if they found a little bit of a stride, let's say.
The running back had 900 yards last year, kind of sharing carries. So he hasn't got real eye-popping statistics this year. What do you see from him?
I think it came down a little bit of what they were trying to do, as you saw in, you know, the progression, I'm sure, of the new staff. Early on, they were probably being a little bit more like they were in the past, where 22 personnels and pounding the football, where all of a sudden they started to kind of evolve into a little bit more of the spread it out-ish, you know, and throw the ball a little bit more. And I think that's some of those things, just like us. We're trying to find exactly who we are. We know what we've had in the past. They see what they've had in the past, trying to find what they really are. And I think maybe the quarterback, you know, has been something that's given them. And they've had some injuries up front offensive line-wise. You know, I think they've one big tackle that, you know, was probably their leading guy. It was out for a few weeks, and I'm not sure if he's back yet. They had the center that was out for a couple weeks, so they've had some holes to fill up there.
Anything else? Can you talk about your history with Temple's defensive coordinator? Both of you were on
Taver Johnson, who is obviously a Cincinnati native, Cincinnati Academy of Physical Education right here that no longer exists, so I used to harass him about that all the time. But no, great guy, great man. Coached with him, I think, for 5 or 6 years maybe. I can't remember exactly how many. He was our corners coach, but have obviously known him for quite a while, even when he was at Miami of Ohio. And always did camps with us in the summer. So know him, know the whole family very well. And he coached with our defensive coordinator, with Coach Freeman, for the last 2 years as well. So he's got a good knowledge of who we are and maybe a little bit of a mentality of how we do things.